Can you believe there is a country so disciplined that falling asleep in the middle of a meeting is seen as dedication, yet so unusual that people actually pay strangers just for a hug, and somehow all of it runs as smoothly as clockwork? This is Japan, a chain of islands in East Asia with an area of about 378,000 square kilometers, a little larger than Germany but smaller than California, and home to more than 120 million people. Its climate stretches from snowy winters in Hokkaido to the subtropical warmth of Okinawa, offering a variety of landscapes that feel like several countries packed into one. What makes Japan stand apart from North America or Europe is not only its density and strict social codes, but also the way these rules shape daily life in surprising ways. Here, ancient rituals live side by side with futuristic technology, while the order of public life contrasts with the quiet loneliness many people feel in private. It is this paradox that makes Japan one of the most fascinating places in the world to explore. Inamuri, sleeping on the job is a badge of honor. In most places, dozing off at work would get you in trouble, but in Japan, it is often seen as a sign of dedication. The corporate culture here is famously strict, with long hours, endless meetings, and a hierarchy that makes it hard to leave before your boss. Within this environment, there is a unique phenomenon called inamuri, which literally means being present while asleep. It is the idea that if you have worked to the point of exhaustion, even nodding off at your desk shows that you gave everything you had, and you are still there, ready to keep going when needed. Think of it like a portable battery that runs until empty and recharges right on the spot. Picture an office worker resting their head on the desk during a meeting, yet still considered loyal and committed, as if their very presence proves responsibility. Would you see this as a gesture of respect for hard work, or as a warning sign that balance in life is slipping away? Urban order, trains on time, and the pushers. In Japan, trains do not just run on time, they arrive down to the very second. And during rush hour, that precision comes with a surprising solution. At the busiest stations, there are people whose job is to physically push passengers into the cars so the doors can close. They are called oshiya, the pushers, dressed in crisp uniforms and white gloves. To outsiders, this scene can feel completely illogical, especially for those from Western cultures where personal space is considered sacred. Yet in Tokyo, it is a routine part of daily life. The pushers press forward with calm, decisive movements, and the passengers accept it without complaint, as if everyone agrees that the system must keep moving no matter what. Would you see this as a small sacrifice for the greater good, or as a step too far beyond the limits of personal comfort? Spotless but almost no trash bins. Train stations in Japan can look spotless, even though you will hardly find a single trash bin. This surprising detail goes back to 1995, when a deadly sarin gas attack on the Tokyo subway led authorities to remove many public bins for safety reasons. Since then, the culture of carrying your own trash has become a quiet form of etiquette. It is as if every person is a walking trash bin, responsible for keeping public spaces clean by taking their waste home. Tourists are often puzzled at first, wandering with an empty bottle in hand. But soon they adapt and realize that this habit is part of what makes Japanese streets so impressively clean. Would you be willing to carry your own trash if it meant enjoying public spaces that shine without a single piece of litter? Rituals and respect, the bow and the boundaries of touch. In Japan, even the angle of a bow can reveal the depth of a relationship. A casual greeting might be a 15-degree bow. A more formal encounter calls for 30 degrees. And a deep expression of gratitude or apology reaches 45. At the same time, gestures that seem normal elsewhere, like patting a shoulder, giving a quick hug, or even an enthusiastic handshake, can feel out of place or even rude here. In the United States, a firm handshake shows friendliness, while in Japan, keeping a respectful distance is often the true sign of courtesy. Tourists who bow a little too fast or at the wrong angle are usually met with a forgiving smile, because sincerity matters more than perfection. Do you prefer the warmth of close contact or the respect of keeping your distance? Vending machines, clearing up the shock factor. Japan has about 4 million vending machines, which works out to roughly 1 for every 30 people. And a few unusual ones are enough to make sensational headlines. The reality is that the overwhelming majority sell reliable everyday items like tea, coffee, and snacks, while only a tiny fraction once offered sensitive products. In recent years, stricter regulations have limited where those can appear, especially near schools or tourist areas. Think of it like a drop of ink in a large glass of water. It may stand out, but it does not define the whole. Many travelers come hoping to spot one of the infamous machines, yet end up relying on the ordinary ones for a hot can of coffee on a cold night or a cold drink in the summer heat. Do you see this openness as a practical kind of freedom, or do you think tighter restrictions are the better path? Public restraint and private freedom, from AV to love hotels. In public, Japan can feel extremely reserved, but in private life, certain industries are not just accepted, they are organized like major businesses. The adult video industry operates with contracts, fan events, and even award shows, making it a mainstream part of the economy. Love hotels, meanwhile, are designed to guarantee absolute discretion. Automated check-ins, hidden food delivery doors, and themed rooms give couples or even solo visitors total privacy. It is like two parallel tracks running side by side. Strict politeness in public and complete freedom once the doors close. Imagine spending the day lining up in perfect order at the train station, then vanishing into a hotel room where anonymity is treated with ninja-like precision. Do you see this as a contradiction, or as a clever way of separating two worlds that otherwise might clash? Tattoos and the public safety threshold. In Japan, even a small tattoo can keep you out of an onsen. The reason lies in history, where full-body tattoos were a mark of the Yakuza and other underground gangs, turning body art into a signal of danger for much of the public. As a result, many hot springs, gyms, and even some restaurants post clear signs saying no tattoos allowed. In Europe or America, tattoos often symbolize style or individuality, but in Japan they still carry the weight of suspicion. Tourists who want to soak in a hot spring sometimes end up covering their ink with patches just to be let in. Would you accept these rules out of respect for local culture, or push for the norms to change over time? Stress relief and connection, from cuddles to rage rooms. In Japan, even the search for comfort can be turned into a service. You can walk into a cuddle cafe and pay $50 to $100 an hour just to hold hands or lie quietly beside a stranger. Companies rent out family members or partners who play convincing roles at weddings or dinners. There are bars where silence is the only menu item, and no one expects you to speak or even order a drink. And when emotions need a louder outlet, rage rooms offer helmets, bats, and stacks of old appliances waiting to be smashed into pieces. All of these places act like emotional charging stations in the middle of a high-pressure city. Picture an exhausted office worker booking an hour just to sit in silence and breathe. Do you think these services are healthy ways to cope, or are they only temporary bandages covering something deeper? High-tech toilets and the cute side of poop. In Japan, even a bathroom visit can feel like stepping into the future. More than 80% of households and public facilities are equipped with electronic washlets that heat the seat, spray warm water, dry with air, and even play sounds to cover any noise. At the same time, there is the Unko Museum, a playful attraction where poop is turned into colorful characters that teach children about hygiene without shame. It is a culture where cleanliness is not just a habit but almost an art form, ranging from sound masking buttons to pink smiling poop mascots. Many tourists laugh when they accidentally press the wrong button and get sprayed with cold water, only to admit later that they want to buy one of these toilets for their own home. How much technology would you like to welcome into such a private corner of life? Capsule hotels, the minimalist cocoon. In Japan, you can trade just 2 square meters for a night's rest that feels like sleeping inside a cocoon. Capsule hotels cost between $20 and $50 a night and are designed with warm lighting, proper ventilation, and a privacy curtain, proving that even the smallest spaces can be carefully crafted. The concept has already spread to South Korea, China, and parts of Europe as travelers look for affordable and efficient stays. It is like living life neatly packed, compact, but complete. Some guests feel claustrophobic as the walls seem to close in, while others find comfort in the snug and orderly design. Which side would you be on, the cozy cocoon team or the spacious room team? Pop culture on the streets, Pokémon manhole covers. In Japan, even the streets can turn into a game of discovery. Since 2018, more than 200 manhole covers have been redesigned with Pokémon characters, each one unique to its region. What is normally plain infrastructure becomes a playful treasure hunt, guiding travelers from one neighborhood to another, as if they were catching Pokémon in real life. It is a clever way of turning something ordinary into a cultural highlight, making the city itself part of the adventure. Some tourists even plan their itineraries around where to find Pikachu watering plants, Lapras swimming near Mount Fuji, or Charmander standing in front of a castle. What ordinary object in your city would you like to see transformed into a check-in spot worth hunting for? Nagoro, the village of scarecrows and memories. In a remote valley of Japan, there is a village with only about 30 real residents but more than 350 scarecrows. Once filled with farmers, students, and workers, Nagoro has emptied as young people moved to the cities and the elderly passed away. To keep the spirit of the community alive, a woman named Tsukimi Ayano began sewing life-size dolls dressed in real clothes and placing them where her neighbors once stood, as if freezing everyday moments in time. Walking through the village feels like stepping into a memory carefully preserved against the fading of life itself. Do you see this as eerie and unsettling, or as a gentle way of holding on to what would otherwise be lost? Japan is a symphony of steel discipline and fragile hearts. The more orderly the society becomes, the more creative people must be in finding ways to heal. If you had the chance to visit, which unusual experience would you try first? The high-tech washlet, a night in a capsule hotel, or a silent bar where no one says a word? In the next episode, we will explore the world of onsen, from the rules of etiquette to the most stunning hot spring spots you should not miss. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you will always be here for the next journey.